All right, let's try again. I just got like 6 minutes into a good video. Anyways, we're gonna start over. This video is about God. This video is about God. I checked my Tumblr, which I haven't done in a while, and someone asked me a question, and it just touched me so sweet. It was just like, hey, you should talk about this in your video. And it was so sweet. The question was, how do you connect with God? And I thought that was, I don't know, I love God. I love whatever it means. And you'll see what I mean when I say like when. So anyways, this might be a long video. I'm going to give some background of my experience with God and spiritual stuff, and then where it's gotten me, where I'm at now with it. And I'll try to say it like twice as fast as I did last time, because I was at 6 minutes and I was still talking about the precursor. Anyways, so I was raised in a family, nothing. My dad had no religion. My mom was Jewish. We celebrated Hanukkah, but nothing serious. We didn't like to even do presents every day or anything. We would just light the candles for Jewish, aunts would come and we'd make latkes and stuff, but like nothing. We wouldn't talk about anything. We celebrated Christmas. We celebrated Easter and had a tooth fairy. But I always knew it was my parents. I just always knew. For Christmas, I never bought the Santa Claus stuff. I never bought the. It's weird thinking about that. But anyways, then I met my friends Michael and Christian, who were neighbors. They were the same. One was a grade below me. One was a grade above me. And they were in a like heavily. What's the word? They're just in a Christian family, like legitimate. Go to church every Sunday. They're part of their church community, all that kind of stuff. And I remember going to their house one day, and they were talking about Jesus. They had asked me if I had ever this is when I'm like 8. No. This is when I was like 6 or 7 years old. First grade, second grade. And they asked me, have you ever accepted Jesus into your heart? And I was like, no. Like, what's the point? What does that even mean? They're like, well, Jesus is like, he's God's son, and he died for your sins. So like, and they try to explain it, and I guess I got it, but I thought it made sense. I was like, that's cool. Like, wow, like that's what the Bible, cool. And I got down on one knee. We were like sitting in the garage, and there was one window in the garage where the light came through, and I happened to sit down, or get down right where it's shining on me. And I like put my hand on my heart or something, and I look up into the light, and I was like, Jesus, I accept you into my heart. And it's just interesting. I have that memory so vividly. Anyways, I also went to like Sunday school with them, but I remember I was always getting in trouble because I just questioned everything. Like, we're like coloring in pictures of Noah inside the whale or something. I'm like, dude, I was like, teacher, dude, this did not happen. This is kind of like actually kind of silly. I don't know why we're spending time. Like, no, dude, this dude did not get eaten by a whale. That whale's stomach is full of like digestion stuff. So I don't even remember how. I just knew it was like that didn't make any sense. So I was always kind of screwing around in that sense. So it never caught me then. My mother passed away when I was 8 years old from cancer, or from chemotherapy. She died from chemotherapy, which really subconsciously I noticed sparked a lot of this whole journey. Over the last few years, I've realized how that's really affected me and wanting to be healthy and wanting to understand life. But yeah, so at 8 years old, I started really thinking about death. And like, whoa, like that's when you get the shock. Like, whoa, I'm 8 years old. I'm like, whoa, okay, so I'm here. Like, whoa, my mom's dead. Like, she's not gonna be around anymore. That'll happen to me too, and to other people. I'm 8 years old. It's like I'm in third grade, thinking about death. I say this so early. It's interesting stuff. So, and then I went through school. Didn't really, elementary school didn't really tap into anything. At the end of 6th grade, I went to this summer camp that my brother was running, and I met this really cute girl, Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea. That she was super. We were like best friends. She invited me to youth group, which was like every Wednesday night from like 6 to 9. You go to the church and play games and sing songs, worship. They call it worshiping. when you're singing the songs and stuff. It's just some Christian thing. There's so many different like versions or whatever, but it was pretty standard. Nothing too like they weren't assholes or anything. um, and so I went because she was cute. Didn't really care about the God stuff. And I went and I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed the like learning about the Bible. I read a lot of the Bible. Like in junior high, like I was reading through the Bible because it was interesting to me to think, wow, this book is really old. It was written by a lot of people, and all this stuff happened apparently. Very interesting stuff. And then I realized a few months in, I was only staying because there were like 3 cute girls there, like really cute. And I'm in like 7th grade. And the girls are in like 9th grade. One of them's in 9th grade. One of them's in like 10th grade or something. I don't know. And then I kept staying because I was into the music. I enjoyed singing with all these people and learning the words. And then eventually I played the drums in the worship band. And then it all turned into, I think it was 8th, 9th grade. This kept going. Like we had a cool, and then I started inviting my friends. We had really good. It was really cool. We would all connect. We'd all come there to just have fun with each other. But then the pastor would have us like do some stuff together, like workshops or little things, and it was interesting. I enjoyed having my mind like question like, wow, who did make the universe? Whoa, like whatever. Even though that's not even really what we were talking about, but anytime someone mentioned God, I'm like, okay, so God is supposed to be this like all-pervading, omniscient energy that created the entire universe and is everything. Whoa, like, whoa. Then I'm in 9th grade and I started smoking pot. Started using cannabis, and things started to shift when one time I got high with some friends of mine before we went to youth group. And God, we were so disrespectful, like little kids, like just fucking around and stuff. But it was interesting to be in there and be in another state of mind, having another perspective, and being like, when we were doing the worship, I would look at these people who were like in high school as well, and they're like sinking in, and I love Jesus, and like totally, and I'm like, how are they getting that emotion? Like, whoa, what are they connecting with that I quite haven't? I just dig the music, and I like singing, and I like playing music anyways, but they're like into it. They're having this emotional, like it's changing the way they're feeling about that present moment. And that tripped me out. And got me more interested in what all this really means. So some of the friends that I was smoking pot with was, we would start to find other things. I started studying other religions, started studying other Eastern stuff. This was also the same time that I found, this is the craziest thing, my mom, who passed away when I was 8, left me, not like for me, but it was for me, a box of books. There was just a box of books in the house. One day, I'm in 9th, 10th grade, my dad's like, hey, you should check out this box of books. I'm just going to throw it away. They were your mom's, but if you like any of the things in there, you should get them. Well, guess what? She left me the Tao, like the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. She left me 3 books by Swami Vivekananda, which is like the Vedanta Hindu sort of Brahma, like universal consciousness, everything is one, just more of that type of stuff, which was incredible. She left me Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. She left me Notes to Self by Hugh Prather, one of the books that changed my life. Anyways, so I start realizing, whoa, like at such a young age, you don't really understand. Sure, everyone have different religions, but like, whoa, like other people, like they all have different meanings, and they have their own definitions of things, and they all have their own stories, and all these different perspectives. I'm like, whoa, but wait, at the end of the day, everyone's just talking about this, some omniscient, all-pervading, all-powerful creator of everything thing. Wouldn't they be the same thing? It was great to like get my mind to expand that way. Then, I'm in maybe 9th, 10th grade, and we went to we had the whole youth group, the whole church really, goes out to we go out to the lake for 3 days or something. We go camping and have a whole there's 50 of us there. And it's great. We rent out this huge space, and awesomely enough, the friends that I would use cannabis with, we brought a bunch of cannabis. So that way, and we camped way off, and there's like 6 of us, and we got like 4 or 5 tents, and we're all bros, and we're like, we'd go off and do the things, and then we'd come back, and it was actually really incredible. We would like go off, do our Christian stuff for the day, go play in the lake, have food, do Christian stuff, and then we'd come back when everyone's ready for bed, and we'd like smoke some blunts and talk about like the universe and stuff, and like what we think about all this God stuff, because it was all of me and all these like 6 guys. We would all, none of us were really like really into it like the other people were. We were there for the cute girls, and we were there for the community. I'm sure like subconsciously we loved that we could connect with people and like talk about how we're feeling and all that stuff. It was great. But one night, when we were doing the worship or whatever, the guy was like, hey, now everyone go off on your own and go talk to God. Like, go off and just like connect with God. And ultimately, so I went off, and I took it very seriously. And I was like, all right, so here's this thing. Apparently, like, it's cool to do this thing that everyone's talking about, and that these books my mom left me are talking about, and that the pastor's talking about, this thing that's created everything. I'm going to talk to it. And I was like, hey. And I also remembered this scene from a movie. Oh gosh, what was the movie? Was it... I think it was... Oh no, what's it called? It's some movie about the Angels, the baseball team, and they suck, and this kid prays, looks out the window to a star or something, and prays and is like, please help the team. And the angels in the outfield, boom, that was the game. And all these angels come down and help the team. Weird, right? How movies like... So I was like, gosh, it must be something like that. Like, you know, I just tried. I really tried connecting, and I really legitimately was like, whoa, well, I've seen examples in these movies, and I've seen these people, my friends in worship, having these emotional experiences. And I tried connecting, and nothing happened. I just really didn't get anything. Ultimately, I made my way back to my tent area, and all my other friends slowly but surely made their way back too, and we all were sitting there, and everyone was like, you know, did you get anything? And nobody connected. Nobody like heard anything. Nobody got any signs. And of course back then we weren't as highly trained as I am now to find symbolism and synchronicities and everything, but you know, just nothing happened. No bird lands on the branch next to you or anything like that. So at that point, I think we were all very discouraged. We were like, well, fuck, you know, sorry for my language, like, you know, if I'm supposed to connect with this God dude and he can't connect, like, and it's not working, this is not fun. It's not cool. So that was like really from that point on, for the rest of high school, that's when I just kept going into research. And just a year or two later, I found out about physics, quantum physics, and What the Bleep Do We Know came out, and The Secret, and all these things, and I was really going at it. And that's why I do what I do now. I've spent months and months, like, I've probably watched, guessingly added it up before, but thousands and thousands of hours of videos, of workshops and lectures and documentaries and all these things, and then hundreds of books of all these things. And so that's what growing up, that's what it was like. Now my first spiritual experience, I must have been 17 or 18. I think I was 17. I'd been reading The Power of Now, which was a book assigned to a friend of mine in high school in this class called Self-Knowledge that we had in the class. Awesome, right? And I'm reading the book. I'm probably almost done with the book. So I feel like I'm really understanding this concept, but that's the whole point of the book. You're not like supposed to you're not supposed to think about it. It's supposed to be this experience of just being now in the moment. I came home one day. It must have been loud outside for some reason. There was construction, someone mowing their lawn, who knows. But when I came inside, nobody was home. It was totally silent. And I closed the door, and it cuts off all the silence from outside. And all of a sudden, I'm just kind of like, I just sealed my own little deprivation chamber. And I was totally still. It was completely silent. And my mind was silent. And then, of course, a few moments later, I went, whoa. That's what he's talking about in the book. I just had that experience. Like and I felt so much bliss and so much, and I realized I'm inside of my body. And I had experiences later in that same sort of pocket of time within months where I would do meditations with my friend, and one time I felt like it was an open-eyed meditation, and all of a sudden I felt like like a little miniature version of my body, I was sitting on the edge of my eyelid. Like my consciousness had its own little vantage point. Trippy stuff. So I started to slowly but surely have more and more experiences of the fact that in the present moment, yes, I am. Yes, and all things are. And there's no judgment, and there's no thoughts about how to define it all. So ultimately, it's all the same thing. It's all one thing. And then I studied all these things, and I'm finding all these speakers and people who are saying the same thing. Everything is one thing. It's all the same thing. And then Nassim Haramein, boom, he comes in and proves to me with science that everything is one thing. Everything is the same thing. Not that it's all one thing. Holy crap! That completely opened me up to so much. If you took what's the word? So everything's 99.9% space, right? Well, there's a density to the vacuum, to space. Just like a black hole is so dense, right, that it pulls everything in. If you took all the known mass, all the known stuff of the universe, and condensed it, took all the space out and condensed it down to fit in your hand, or in a spoon, I think is what he says, the density of that is like 10 to the 39 whatever grams per cubic. Let's just think of that number, okay? 10 with 39 zeros after it. That's the number to represent how dense it is. But if you add up just all the space, the density of all this space in the known universe, it's 10 to like the 60. There's more stuff in between the space of I was getting my mind blown wide open. And then also, he proved how just in one proton, everything's made out of atoms, right? And all atoms have protons in them, at least one. There's enough energy in one proton to contain the density of energy of the entire known universe. I think that was my first true experience of God. Even just thinking about it makes me want to stop the video and just... Ultimately, so my connection with God these days, lately, for the last few years actually, it's been very similar. Ultimately, I know that I can think about it all I want. And it's fun to do that. And I can learn more things and learn more about physics and how more and more proof that everything's connected, especially through sacred geometry and the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio, and how everything is, even mathematically, everything's connected in the same patterns. Woohoo! Wow! And I can take that and apply it to my physiology. Will you act different knowing that you're one with everything physically? And that was another experience that I had. I was like, whoa, if I really, really am one with everything, shouldn't I be acting a little differently? Shouldn't I really pick up the trash on the side of the street? Because the street is me. I don't want to be covered in trash. So I did that for a while. I mean, I still do it to its own degree. I pick up trash, but more I had an experience one day. I was sitting on the balcony in my apartment, and I was like, whoa, if I really am one with everything, I think I'll do things a little differently. And I spent the rest of that day picking up all the trash in my neighborhood, because it just felt like the most authentic thing to do as oneness, because that's just what my environment was, and my environment was dirty, and I'm my environment, and I don't want to be dirty, so I picked it up. So the oneness thing opens up a lot in understanding that every culture forever has been saying that. And some of the simplest science, and complex, says that now too. It has been saying that. Amazing. Gosh, I could talk about so much stuff. So what I do, for instance, the moment I wake up in the morning, I wake up and my eyes are usually closed, actually, and I'm experiencing God. not really thinking too much or at all, just like there, and it's. And I love how the whole point of this video, how do you connect with God? And I finally get there, and it's like I can't even talk about it. I can. How do I connect with God? Okay, for instance, when I'm in a challenging moment or a struggling time in my life, there's more of a desire to like connect with God, to like put effort into making that connection so you can stay in your center and feel and trust and tap into all that stuff. The main way I do it is just the simple reminder of all the things I've learned. And that just kind of, in a millisecond, just... And I'm experiencing God. I'm connected with God. I go, well, regardless of if I can, like, feel it because I'm challenged by this argument, whoever I'm arguing with, we're fucking made out of the same thing, and it's infinite. Or if I'm having a struggling time, it's like, well, at the end of the day, you know, every religion and every culture says God is everything. Well, boom, then this moment's God. Boom. And I just get it. I don't know, there's a conceptual way that gets me in when I just kind of flat out just like remember, like, yeah, that's what every notion of evidence I've ever experienced relating to God all comes to the same point. And I can use that understanding of that point to like have that experience. There are a few other, and how else do I connect with you know, it's like more to me almost more importantly than connecting with God, which I like connecting, like praying to this thing or like connect, like, hey God, like something separate from me. It's connecting to the present moment has been what really nourishes me, because, and that is God, and I can still look at it that way too, and I still feel it that way. But being able to, like this tattoo, means to settle oneself in anything whatsoever. So that basically means two things. To settle to feel settled, to like comfortable, to settle oneself in anything whatsoever. The way to do that is to understand that no matter what you're in, that anything whatsoever is God, is perfect, is the infinite. And then the also other meaning is to settle oneself, to settle the fact that there is one self in everything. Everything is the one self, and that self is God. It is consciousness. It's infinite everything. Interestingly enough, though, I have had quite a few experiences now that I've gotten older and have more control, more Jedi mind skills, more control and understanding of how my mind and emotions and heart and body and the universe in relation to me works. And I have to admit, there are, like, anyway, okay, I'll go back to my first, like, out-of-body, like, boom, like, whoa experience, like, totally, like, changed my DNA. Okay, I'm walking home from my friend's house, these friends that I was smoking pot with and going to youth group and studying and watching all these videos and learning all these things. And just to be clear, because someone did say it in the other video, it's just funny that it comes up. I don't smoke pot all day, every day, and that's not like something I use to connect with God, and it's not like a thing. In case that's still the conclusion you've made from what I said before. It has nothing to do with pot, just so you know. So I'm walking home from my friend's house, and I was still having that sort of like scared of the dark boogeyman syndrome. I was probably 17. Yeah, 17. And I was still like worried, you know, it just happens sometimes. You're like spooked, you're like, shit, is there someone walking behind me? Oh, I guess not. Oh wait, but is there? I don't know, it was weird. Although this was at the same time that I was learning about dimensions, extraterrestrials, David Icke, Jordan Maxwell, conspiracies, the Illuminati, all this crazy stuff, so much stuff. So part of me legitimately was curious, like, whoa, well, I feel something, right? Yes, there is physically, there's no one following me. I proved it. I could like look, there's no one fucking there. But what if it's one of these like interdimensional reptilian entities that wants to suck my brains out, right? And I stopped there for a moment and thought, well, with everything that I've been learning, even if that stuff is real and it is the worst energetic interdimensional entity in the universe, right there, ready to just absorb my soul and turn me into a demon, it's me. That thing still exists in the infinite universe, and I am one with it. Like, basically, the worst possible thing that I could imagine, which was an interdimensional, can't be defeated, all-pervading, evil entity that its only mission in life was to destroy and kill and make things worse. It's me, by definition. Just as much as the chair I'm sitting on, or the ground I was walking on, or, So I thought that, and then I understood it, and then I believed it. Like, not believe that like it was there, but believe like even if it was, it's fucking me. Meaning, when you harness that correctly, it has no power over me. And I exploded. If you guys have seen that scene from The Fountain, if you haven't seen that movie The Fountain, Hugh Jackman, Rachel Weisz, go watch it. But if you've seen the scene, you know what I'm talking about. I exploded. Just like that. Basically, I can attribute it now to Kundalini energy. There's plenty of other names, but there's this energy at the bottom of your perineum, like between the bottom, bottom of your spine, ultimately. And so I believe this oneness. It was my first true experience of oneness. And what a great way to get there, by like literally conceptualizing the worst of the worst and accepting that I'm one with it. And this energy, literally the energy, like imagine what you feel like when you have an orgasm. It's different for men and women, and it's different for different people at different times. But imagine, how at times an orgasm will feel very like concentrated. Like you might not feel it in your whole body, right? Or even if you do feel, so imagine though just, the energy of an orgasm, but this in a sphere this big. It doesn't seem like it could be contained in there, right? Because it's a lot more than that. But it was this big, and it just rose through my spine and all the way out. Oh, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And it shot out the top of my head. And then it shot this liquid. It was like this liquid, like the consistency of like egg yolk and chia pudding. And it shot out the top of my head and then landed back on me, this warm, gooey liquid. And then it just drizzled down and covered my whole body. And I was just something like that. I don't even know. I was just in this experience, completely present, being the entire universe. It completely changed my life. Wow. It was so incredible. I don't know what to describe it. And then, of course, since then I've realized millions of people have had these experiences. They're called Kundalini awakenings, or I don't know. There's all sorts of names. Different cultures can call it different things. So I'm in that moment, being oneness, not even thinking about it, not attached to it, until finally I started thinking, whoa, this is happening to me. Like me, I can't wait to like tell my friends about it tomorrow. Like me, my ego started coming back in, and it started diminishing. The feeling was going away, and then I realized, oh, that's the whole point. Oh my God, it's not about me. There is no me. Like this is all it. Boom, and it comes back like double time, like, and I'm there again, and I'm like, oh my God, wow. Now I really got to tell my friends, and it goes away. So I kept walking home. And then, of course, it was hard because you're not totally comfortable, like, standing in the middle of the road, like, having a full-body orgasm, experiencing God. So I kept walking home, going back and forth between, like, being so blissed in and blissed out or whatever, and then just tripping me out. Anyways, since then, I started learning more about it, and I would have meditative experiences where, for instance, though, I would go in kind of expecting it, being like, whoa, I can access this part of me now. and I'd go to meditate and nothing would happen. This is the first time after that, actually, I really remembered. I went into it being like, whoa, I would love for this to happen again. Like, that was so incredible. It's like a drug, right, or something. It was so powerful, and nothing happened. I'm meditating for like 20 minutes, and then finally I'm like, oh, well, I guess the whole point, like, it's just my ego wanting it to happen to escape, or to have more of an experience. So I shouldn't expect it to happen. And then the moment I let go of expecting it to happen, it happened. It was kind of the universe being like, you got it, dude. There you go. Here's your little doggy treat for learning the lesson, right? So anyways, that's part of my God experience. Having these sort of kundalini, straight up physical experiences that are a result of my vantage point, of my perspective of reality. Gosh, this video is getting really long. Anyways, I appreciate you guys listening. Another experience, I'm just going to keep going. There's this whole stuff that's re-emerged ultimately, it's always been here, with the Ascended Masters and other beings that, Jesus being one of them, that are here to help us. So I've had a lot of experience. I personally have done training with Saint Germain, Thoth, Serapis Bey, to name a few. Some others not as heavily, but those three dudes are super, super big, playing big roles in my life right now, and have been for the last couple of years. But I've had experiences. So here's my take on the Ascended Masters and that whole and connecting with these other beings, your higher self, all that stuff. I definitely don't see it the same way a lot of people seemingly do, from what I've experienced. But yes, they are real people. They were alive at some point, physically, like we are. Some of them still are. Some of them are through other people, because just reincarnation, all that stuff, or choosing to walk-ins and soul connections, all that kind of stuff. I did a meditation maybe a year ago, a little less than a year ago. It was a really incredible meditation. I wish I remembered what it was, but we basically we had this emerald crystal and brought it in through our crown chakra into our heart chakra, boom, and all this different guided stuff. And I got there, and I went off into full out of body experience. Remind me of what I did actually. David Wilcock taught me this thing you can do in your dreams. Just a real quick tangent. If you become lucid in your dreams, put your hands above your head like this, like perfect, together. Above your hands like this. Look up at your hands, and you start spinning, and you go somewhere. Put some intention. But anyways, I had that same sort of feeling, and I went to this other. So I'm just going to answer it and then hang up. Okay, usually a solicitor. Okay, really? .99% of the time it's solicitor. So we're in this meditation, I do this whole connection, and I get shot off into some other reality, some other plane. I didn't even start talking about dreaming. Jeez, that's a whole nother. How else do I connect with God? Every night when I go to sleep. Dreaming. I have so much stuff to talk to you guys about that. But anyways, I go to this other realm, and there's this incredible being there, this divine feminine representation. Hello? This is him? Okay. Yeah. Oh, dude. Can you call me back in 10 minutes? Alright, thank you so much, dude. Okay, anyway, so I went into this other realm. There's this divine feminine, so intense. Oh my gosh, the most beautiful, powerful, Shakti, frickin' Kali, everything, boom, and I'm like, whoa, hey, so you're an ascended being, huh? You're an ascended master. And she's like, she didn't say it. I was about to say, she's like, fuck yeah, I am. But she was like, yeah, she was very cool, just very friendly. But the main point is, she said, I'm you, right? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, yeah, sure, everything's one, right? But she's like, no, but like the ascended masters, all of us, yes, we did exist at some point, but only to embody some attribute of existence, whether it's courage or forgiveness or writing things down or the law of attraction or whatever. Like, we all came to embody a certain thing so that there is a fully embodied human version of that archetype in the field and in the grid. But ultimately, we are you. But we set it, the humans in the universe, we set it up this way to have relationship. We only set it up for Saint Germain to be able to teach us about forgiveness as a Saint Germain being like another person or another being, so that we could have the relationship. Does that make sense? Saint Germain, yes, you can have pictures of him, you can talk to him, might even channel him, you might have experiences with him, but he is you, period. And if you talk to him deep enough, he'll let you know that. As all beings are, we set it up to have relationship. Because without relationship, there's nothing. That was actually an important phone call. He's going to call me back in 10 minutes. I love you guys so much. This was great. If you watched this whole thing, thank you. I love you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a video response or a comment of anything, of your experiences, what you think. There'll be lots more talks to have about this. I'm going to be doing tons of audio courses on my website. Lots and more videos about all this stuff. I love you so much. At the end of the day, here we are. We have no idea what's going on. We're just here. We're humans. We're on the planet. The planet's the way it is. We're in this universe. Whoa, it's incredible. Regardless of any of it, life experience is incredible. It's amazing. I want to support everyone in constantly, consistently being awestruck in every moment. That's the goal. This is it. We got nothing else to do but just frickin' be grateful. This is the most beautiful, like, we couldn't make it up to be any more incredible. So thank you for watching. I love you so much. Thank you for being one with me. It's truly an honor to have a relationship. And I'm grateful for this relationship that we have. And it's an honor to be one with you and to be God with you and to be here. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.